Welcome to another 10-minute guided walking meditation. I hope you have had a fantastic week and that you're ready to join me on this walk. Feel free to get started. Just slowly glide into your rhythm and listen to the sound of my voice. During these meditations, our source of guidance is always and will always be our breath. So, as you move, I want you to take your thinking from your movement to your breath and enjoy the path towards centering yourself at the start of this walk. I'm going to leave you to have a few moments to work on your breath alone. And remember, take a big deep breath in and allow the out-breath to last longer than the in-breath. As you walk, appreciate your surroundings. Ground yourself in the present, in the nature you can see, the people that surround you, or even the birds that are watching over you. The focus of today's 10-minute walking meditation is that of our own positive self-talk. One of the biggest battles with the self in a journey of fitness is the way in which you view yourself, and primarily the way in which you talk to yourself. Our thoughts can often make us feel like we are their slaves, when actually the opposite is true. Thoughts are just things. They do not dictate who we are, they do not dictate our behavior, and they certainly do not dictate the past or the future. They are just specks of nothing that occur in our head. We can have up to 80,000 thoughts a day, yet as humans, we have a habit of only fixating on the negative ones. When we begin to pay too much attention to a thought, we can be led down a path of fixation and not balance. And balance is what we must always work towards. So, for the duration of this meditation, I want you to practice thought observation. Thoughts will come up and they will fade away. And when they pop up, just observe them, almost as if you're slightly removed from them. The same way you label colours. Label your thoughts. Green, red, the shopping, my husband, and so on and so forth. Over the last week, you may have had thoughts from all varying intensities. You may have had thoughts about the fitness solution and whether you can actually achieve it. You may have had thoughts about how well you are doing. You'd have had some negative thoughts, some positive, but mostly thoughts that you can't even remember. Hopefully, you're starting to realize that thoughts are just inconsequential, and all that makes our thoughts prevalent is the focus and attention we choose to give them. This is why focus and energy become such key players in your success. If you give the thoughts that deserve your attention, then you will begin to build up energy levels beyond your wildest dreams. You will begin to build up your momentum, your confidence, and your ability in a very sustainable way. I want you to just take a minute, continue walking, focusing on the breath as always, and enjoy the day in which you have in front of you. As you do this, allow your thoughts to ebb and flow. And as each one comes to you, I want you to think upon whether or not it deserves your focus or not. If you decide not, then pop it like a balloon. If you decide it does deserve energy, give it some attention. Ask yourself, why are you giving it this attention? What is it about this thought that grabbed your attention? And is it beneficial for you to ponder on? Then casually let it float away like a cloud as the next thought comes in on the thought conveyor belt. I believe we get caught up in our thoughts because we are always the center of our own soap opera. We are the center of our world, and that means we are susceptible to feeling a lot more than we need to or would like to at times. And it's my belief this comes down to your perspective. When I was in Australia in 2018, I was 3 hours into the outback out of Melbourne at my fiance's uncle's place. When you're in the middle of Australia, the night sky is very dark. There was no grid electricity for maybe up to 10 miles around us, and one day we were outside stargazing. Talia's uncle pointed to a big, bright star and asked me if I had any idea what it was. The South Star. I didn't even know if that was a thing. But it was my best guess. He looked at me and casually told me that it was indeed the planet Mars. A planet that is 225 million kilometers away. And there was little old me, standing, just looking at it, in the middle of paradise, on the other side of the world to everything I had known, staring at the planet Mars. No telescope, just my humanity, my existence, and the brightest star I could see lighting up the sky. When you experience seeing Mars, you begin to realize what a small speck you are in the planet. That you are just a lot of atoms in a fleeting moment of the world's existence. And I found that thought comforting. It's wonderful. Because whatever your struggle is right now really isn't that significant. It's really not that important. The things stressing you out in your life can make the most trivial things seem like earth-shattering moments. But they aren't. Because you are on a planet that is part of something that is far bigger than even your imagination can fathom. 225 million kilometers. And that's just the next planet along in our solar system. When I'm getting worried or wound up, I remember Mars to bring things into perspective. It's perspective like this that can comfort us in our journeys. This perspective is very similar to the same perspective that somebody who fights a terrible illness gains. They just start living for the day and their own enjoyment. It is something we can all achieve as we learn to master our thoughts and our own positive self-talk. Mastery of your thoughts can be one of the sharpest tools you will own in your fitness journey, because in fitness we don't just work on the body. As we work to improve the body, we must also pay careful attention to the mind. Your mind is a tool that must be worked and trained just like your muscles. And training this ability to be more focused on your thoughts is a wonderful way to build your discipline and your consistency, which in turn improves the way in which you talk to yourself. As I draw this walking meditation to a close, I want to leave you with a few quotes about thoughts. If you realized how powerful your thoughts are, you would never think a negative thought again. If what you are thinking doesn't make you feel good, change the thought. Bad cannot bother you unless you are available. Whatever you believe about yourself on the inside is what you will manifest on the outside. Well done on completing this week's 10-minute walking meditation. You are doing so well, and I cannot wait to be with you again next week. Don't forget to work hard on your consistency and to make sure you show up for the coaching calls. As the system progresses, you will be working harder and harder because you are developing both your mind and your body. And you should be very proud of yourself. Well done. And see you again next week.